This episode is brought to you by the Toyota Grand Highlander. Life's journey brings constant change filled with exciting surprises and grand challenges. And with its spaciousness, power, and style, the Toyota Grand Highlander is more than a vehicle. It's your partner in embracing all life throws at you. From the spacious adult-sized third row to seating for up to 8 passengers, the Toyota Grand Highlander is up for every grand challenge. Learn more at toyota.com/Grand Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the Michael K. Show podcast.
I gotta get more K.
Listen live weekdays at 1 on 880 ESPN, the ESPN New York app, and your smart speaker.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Monday, March 31st, 2025. Coming to you live from our studios on the southern tip of Manhattan in the greatest city of the world. Hope you all had a good weekend. The Yankees certainly did. The Mets didn't seem like they were able to score. The top seeds in the NCAA have made it to the Final Four, so there's a lot of stuff to unpack, a lot of stuff to digest, but we'll start off with bats. We will start off with bats. Now, the Yankees had 15 home runs in 3 games in sweeping the Milwaukee Brewers, a playoff team from last year. Impressive. The most impressive performance of all came from Aaron Judge. And he does not have one of the new Torpedo bats. So let's start with the Torpedo bats and where they come from. The Torpedo bats are the brainchild of the Yankees analytics department. And I said this on the batting practice show on yesterday, that there's a pejorative thought process when you say analytics. You think of geeks, you think of, they're ruining the game, but one of the things that they're doing is that they're trying to gain an advantage within the margins. So a former MIT graduate who now works for the Marlins came up with this idea a couple of years ago where let's move more of the wood down toward the center of the bat or to the sweet spot. Now, Jazz Chisholm just sent out a tweet on X where he said, for those idiots that think that we moved the sweet spot down to the label, well, why would we do that? We don't want to get jammed. Well, unfortunately, I'm the idiot that suggested it because I really misspoke when I broke this story on the other day, on Saturday, actually. I misspoke because what I meant to say was they wanted to take the wood from the top of the bat and move it down toward the label, not at the label, because a lot of their metrics that they saw, especially with Anthony Volpe, was that he was hitting balls just above the label toward the sweet spot. So it didn't do much good to have all of that wood, the good wood at the top of the bat. So they kind of moved it down, and it looks kind of like a torpedo. It looks kind of bulbous. And if you haven't seen it and you're listening right now, picture like you're trying to hit with a bowling pin, with a little more wood after the bulbous part of the bottom of the bowling pin. So you got to give the Yankees front office and their analytic group credit, because what they did was they said, well, let's maximize where the ball usually hits the bat, not at the top and not at the label, but more toward the sweet spot. So let's not waste the wood. Now, since this story is broken, you really get a sense of how much people just despise the Yankees and they want the Yankees to just fail. You get a sense. People screaming and have no idea about the rule. Well, they're breaking the rules. It's illegal. Well, obviously you haven't read the rule. It's very clear that it is very, very legal, and the Yankees are just getting an advantage within the margins of what's legal. They ran it past Major League Baseball a number of times. They ran it through bat companies a number of times, and it's very legal. Anybody could do it. And by the way, the only thing that brought so much attention to this was, I mentioned it on Saturday, and then the Yankees just had one of the great offensive weekends that you've ever had. They scored 36 runs in the 3-game set, and that's third most in Major League history in the first 3 games of a season. So, of course, you're going to get attention. And the bottom line is, Aaron Judge, who had the biggest of the big weekends, he does not use that bat. He has no interest in using the bat. All the Yankees are afforded the opportunity. Do you want this sort of bat? And if it fits their need, they can do it. They can do it. If not, they can pass on it. Nobody's forcing anything on anybody. So Jazz Chisholm is one of the guys who has actually gravitated toward it, and he had a great weekend hitting home runs. Had 2 home runs yesterday. Now, Jazz Chisholm's a home run hitter anyway, and I don't know how much this has to do with it, but there are other teams that have access to this bat. Now, teams that don't have a great analytics department, that don't spend the money on analytics, they might not be in on this. Well, I'm sure they're scrambling right now. Whoever those teams are, they're scrambling. But the guy who came up with it actually works for the Marlins. So the thought process and the theories are there. If they wanted to do it, they could do it. Now, they probably don't have a great analytics department. But the Red Sox had this bat in spring training. Bellinger said that the Cubs had this bat last year, and they didn't really want to use it. They didn't really feel comfortable with it. Well, there are 5 Yankees that like it. Goldschmidt, who had a great weekend. Bellinger, who had a great opening weekend. Volpe and Austin Wells, and I believe, obviously, Jazz Chisholm. Those are the 5 that like the bat. Now, for those people that just anything the Yankees do, you just want to jump all over it, you're saying, well, it's not against the rules. Anybody could do it. Anybody can do it. So if anybody uses that bat and does well, you can't look at it and say, well, this diminishes what they do. It's all within the rules. Anybody could do it. Anybody. It's just so silly, the knee-jerk reaction, well, the Yankees did it, so it's illegal. No. I think that there's such an acute awareness of legal and illegal ever since the Astros did the trash can banging. So the Yankees, when this thought process arose in their quote-unquote lab, they went right to Major League Baseball and said, is this doable? Is this legal? And they said, absolutely, it's legal. So for those that are screaming that the Yankees are doing something wrong, the fact that Major League Baseball said they're doing nothing wrong, are you convinced now? Or is it just because the Yankees, you have to find something negative to say? They're doing nothing wrong. This technology is available to everyone. Every bat company knows how to make this bat. If you order it, you can use it in a game. This isn't like sticky stuff. I saw on social media yesterday when people said, yeah, sticky stuff used to be legal and then it isn't. Well, then it was stopped. Then it was stopped because they used it too much and it became something that was not used for the purpose in which it actually came into the game for, to get a better grip. It became something where it really enhanced the spin rate on a ball, and it became very difficult for hitters to hit. But this has been cleared by Major League Baseball. I don't have to sit here and defend the Yankees. The Yankees had a great weekend, and there should be no aspersions cast on the performance that they had. This is one of those instances where the Yankee nerds outsmarted other people. The Yankees have an extensive analytics group. They have the smartest people, the best and the brightest. Like I said, the guy from MIT came up with it. There's guys from Harvard. There's guys from all Ivy League schools. And gals, too. So they're always working. They're always trying to find something. So just from studying all the things at their disposal, they just saw where most balls came off the bat. So if balls come off the bat at that spot, shouldn't there be more wood at that spot? Simple, right? So if you want to lean back and say, well, the only reason the Yankees had this weekend is because of the bat, well, that's silly, and you're a hater, and you're looking for that. And I would just point you to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge doesn't use the bat. He doesn't want to use the bat. You know, he could actually say, how's it working out for me? And he had a monster weekend. Now, some of the comments are almost mind-bogglingly dumb. So Trevor McGill, the closer for the Brewers, talked about how he didn't like it. I'll give you the exact quote, but it comes down to this. This is what he said. Let's see. Okay. He said, I think it's terrible. I feel like it's something used in slow pitch softball. It's genius. Put the mass all in one spot. It might be Bush League. It might not be, but it's the Yankees, so they'll let it slide. Come back to us, Trevor. It's legal. How are they letting something slide that's legal? That's like if you're going 55 miles an hour on the New England Thruway. Does the cop let you slide, or is it legal to drive 55 miles an hour? It's really a dumb thing to say. And then Pat Murphy, the manager of the Brewers, said, you know what? If it works, let me have it. And if it's legal, let me have it. So somebody of the right mind and sense actually says, you know what? This is great. I want to do it. And I think there are teams scrambling right now to get these bats made. Jeff Passan was on Sportsmanlike today, and he was asked, will MLB look to ban the Torpedo bat?
I think it's something that has to, at very least, be considered. But for a sport that's kind of starving for offense at this point, where pitching has so outpaced hitting in terms of technology and in terms of effectiveness, I'm not sure that MLB necessarily would look at this as a bad thing, especially because it's not like it's going to be limited to the Yankees. They got a first mover advantage that's going to amount to probably 5 to 10 games. And at that point, there will be others who start using it. And, some are going to find success with it. And some are going to be like, you know what? I don't have any hits in this thing for the first 3 games. I'm using it back to the traditional bat.
Now, Passan went on to say he expects a lot more teams to start using the bats.
After this weekend, the number of orders of these bats from around Major League Baseball are going to be going up significantly. We're going to see this a lot more in games, and it's just going to be a question with guys of comfort and feel as much as anything, because performance-wise, there's some upside and there's a little bit of downside. When you budget so much of that wood toward the fat part of the bat, if you hit it off the end, it's not going to be good.
Exactly. So you want to hit the ball where everybody wants to hit the ball, on the sweet spot. So now the sweet spot is even sweeter. That's the bottom line. It's even sweeter. Aaron Boone talked about the Torpedo bats yesterday.
Trying to be the best we can be. I mean, it's one of the things that's, gotten pointed out. But, I say to you guys all the time, we're trying to win on the margins and trying to get, and that shows up in so many different ways. Whether you see bat models, we saw the momentum steals that Volpe does, you see shifts. Like when I say those kind of things, like we have a big organization that are invested in a lot of different things where we're trying to be better in every possible way. The reality is it's all within major league standards, and it's 2025, so it's different, and we can account for things a lot better. But I look at it when I played, I probably used 6, 7, 8 different model bats throughout my career. Within a season, I used a different shaped bat for a lefty, a different one for a righty. Those things aren't new. They're just more people pouring into trying to optimize guys as best we can.
All right, so there you have it. It's laid out exactly what the bats mean. One of the kind of comical things that I saw on social media over the weekend was, well, the Yankees know they're not doing anything wrong. Why would they have K go on Yes and reveal this? Believe me, the Yankees didn't want K to go on Yes and reveal this. They wanted to keep it a secret as long as it could. Now, obviously, the bats look different, so it was going to come up at some point. I was told by a couple of people about this bat, and I didn't think there was anything wrong bringing it forward. I think it's ingenious and smart, so I actually said it on the broadcast, and it became such a big thing, but the Yankees certainly didn't want it out. That would be ill-advised for them to have on their broadcast, point out, oh, by the way, this is what the Yankees are doing to succeed. No. Again, you just heard Jeff Passan. Well, I guess the Yankees will have a 10-game advantage because it'll take that long for other teams to get those bats. But maybe it would take longer if I didn't say it on Saturday. Maybe it would have taken 10 games before somebody noticed or wrote a story about it. But in terms of the Yankees wanting it out there, that's silly. People just say stuff to say stuff, and they don't realize what they're saying. They just spout with actually no connection to reality at all. None. Absolutely none. If you've got something that works, you know what? You keep it a secret. Especially if it's legal. Now, obviously, if it's illegal, you definitely don't want anybody to know. But this is legal. Major League Baseball is very much aware of it. But again, if you don't like the Yankees, you're going to say there's something nefarious about this. There's nothing nefarious about it. It's just ingenious. So when the Nerd Squad actually does something positive, you almost have to tip your cap to them. That's why these people work as hard as they do. They're studying every single angle to get some kind of an advantage. Let's go to the phones. Branderson in the car. Start it off.
Michael, how are you? It's Blanderson Hooper.
Hey, what's going on, Branderson?
It's Blanderson Hooper.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, all right. So about the bat thing, two things. One, the Yankees analytics guys are always taking such slings and arrows. So, like you just said, it is kind of nice just to, I guess, for once, have people say something positive about them. But the other thing is, it's one thing for some fool on X or Twitter to be talking about them cheating, but you expect more out of somebody like Trevor McGill. I mean, he should know what the rules of the game, what the game are. And so to hear him say, well, it's the Yankees and they're going to let it slide, I mean, something like that just sounds like sour grapes to me, because the Brewers had it handed to them by the Yankees over the weekend. I just think like something like that, you should know what the rules are, and it's not about the league doing this for the Yankees. If this is legal, then it's legal. There's nothing to do with the Yankees.
You know what, Branderson? I don't know Trevor, obviously, and his brother is a starter on the Mets, but that he comes off like ill-informed and almost a dunce, when the rest of his teammates and the manager said they love it. They want some of those bats, too. They're going to let it slide. And then I think somebody from the Post went back to him and said, wanted to get more clarification on what he said. He goes, well, I was misinterpreted. But then he wouldn't say exactly what he meant. I think he probably got slapped down by the organization. What are you saying that? They didn't do anything wrong. As Blanderson just said, they got their butts handed to them. It was a bad weekend for Milwaukee. Let's go to Ruben in New Haven.
Mike, absolute pleasure to be speaking to you. First-time caller.
Oh, thanks, man.
So I looked it up. Not a problem. I looked it up this morning because a lot of, the big argument that a lot of people had is people should be using the same equipment, which is, it's just false. Louisville Slugger, just the one bat brand, offers over 8,000 variations of a wooden bat. 8,000. If you're signed with them, they'll bring you down to Louisville. You can try them all out. They'll customize them for you. They'll make them work for you. I mean, no one uses this. This is Aaron Boone hit it right on the head. Little clip you play. This isn't new. It hasn't changed. If the Mets had done this, if the Red Sox, the Astros had done this, I'd be mad as a Yankee fan. I'd be mad at the Yankees. What are we doing? Why didn't we figure that out? Why didn't we come up with that first? It just shows that, a lot of people over the offseason were saying, are the Dodgers the new evil empire? Absolutely not. The Yankees are the evil empire. They always will be, and I absolutely relish in it. I love it. Thanks, Mike. Have a good one.
You got it, Ruben. And also, I mean, bats are different. Remember, they have kind of the axe bat where the handle is a lot different. Many years ago, they carved out the top of the bat. They cupped it. I mean, they're always looking for an advantage. And I truly don't believe, I'm sorry, Clay Bellinger hit a ball 451 feet. I mean, you really think that the bat hit it 451 feet? Really? Goldschmidt led off the game on Saturday with a bomb. That was because of the bat? I mean, you still have to make contact, right? I think the way the MIT guy said, this will maybe have a dunker that's a single be a more significant, harder hit ball because you get more of the sweet spot. And any little thing that you do, it will incrementally increase it because the bat is better suited for that. But again, I hate to completely bang home this tired phrase, but you don't want to give the Yankees credit. So you want to make the Yankees look like the bad guys. Well, for once, the Yankees did the right thing. I shouldn't say for once, they do the right thing a lot, but their analytics group has always been criticized. Always. That they make out the lineups, this and that. They overthink things, blah, blah, blah. And some of it's true about all analytics. They do overthink things. So they overthought this bat. And you know what? It worked out. It worked out. Let's go to Joe and Brick. Joe.
What's up, Michael? How are you today?
Good. What's up, Joe?
Nothing. I'm a huge Yankee fan. I have no problem with how innovative we're going about this. My question for you is, we got Goldschmidt and Jazz using this bat. They're proven hitters. How do you feel? Do you feel at all that it was shaped, not no pun intended, for Volpe's struggles Like, I feel he's been slightly disappointing when you look at the top of the end prospects that have come up over the last few years. Like, they're instant energy and 30 home runs, over 300 batting average, and he's a little slight. Do you think that it's more that they took him as the example?
Well, I don't know if they took him as the example, and I don't know if that's totally fair, Joe, because he wasn't using the bat during the postseason, and he had a great postseason. So, he's a young player. It's going to take time. Not everybody is Bobby Witt Jr. That you're going to be great right away. Aaron Judge wasn't great right away. So, no, I think that they studied Judge's, they studied Volpe's swing and where the bat came in contact with the ball and said, the top of the bat is wasted with him because he doesn't hit balls near the top of the bat. It's more toward the sweet spot and toward the label. Let's put more meat there. So when he strikes the baseball, well, it's gonna be more significant. There's going to be more exit velocity to it. But no, I don't think that it diminishes anything. Let's go to Steve in Manhattan. Steve.
Hey, Michael. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it.
I totally agree with you that there's a lot of Yankee haters out there, and they look to put them down. But this is something that the Yankees should be getting credit for, because I compare this to the broomstick long putter in golf that is still legal, and not a lot of guys are still using it. Everybody's going to use it and figure out that, wait a second, the Yankees had a great weekend hitting the ball and hitting it far. So I agree with you, man. I'm a longtime Yankee fan, and this is something that's going to change the game, I think.
A lot of equipment changes. So you look at hockey when the curved stick came about, right? That changed the game. Changed the game. People started screaming about it right away, but it changed the game. Golf has become much more technologically savvy, and the golf clubs have changed, and the way the ball comes off the face, everything changes. Equipment changes. Look at the gloves that they used to wear in the 40s and the 50s. They were like mittens. Look at them now. They're like highlight cestas. As long as you're within the rules. And this has gone over and over and over again that it's within the rules. And let me let you in on a little secret, everybody. Every technological advancement has gone in favor of the pitchers. It's hard to hit now. They've taught pitchers how to throw harder, increase their velocity, spin rate. All these computers show you where the optimum release point is. Very little has been done for the hitters. Maybe this is a little bit of an evening out, but I know because the Yankees hit the 15 home runs, you're saying that that's the reason. I don't think it was that. Let's see how the Yankee offense does in the series that starts tomorrow against the Diamondbacks, against Corbin Burns. Milwaukee did not pitch well. Nestor Cortez looked out of his realm. He was awful. Imagine the first three pitches of a game being hit for home runs without him ever moving a batter off the plate. He was horrendous. And the Yankees were prepared for it, so give them credit. But a lot of people, again, because you want to take away any of the credit that the Yankees might get, you want to take away that they're actually a team that's been put together nicely. They have much more speed than they've had in recent years. If you watch the games, they went first to third endless times throughout the weekend. They're just different. They're a different team. Even if the torpedo bats, again, only 5 guys use it, even if it increases the productivity by an nth degree, it's worth it. But it didn't get them 36 runs in 3 games. I'm sorry, it didn't. I think it's a smart idea. It makes total sense. It almost seems simplistic that somebody hasn't come up with it before. Well, let's move the wood to where the ball hits the bat, rather than have the wood at the top, where if you hit the ball at the top of the bat, it doesn't go very far anyway. Makes your hands ring. This has become the big story in baseball. And baseball can't be unhappy with it. People talk about baseball. They're talking about baseball. During the Final Four, they're going to be talking about baseball. Even if they're angry, even if they're spitting nails, you know what? Baseball's a great game, and if you get eyeballs on it for whatever way, you do it. 1-800-919-3776. It's the K-Show, me and you, until 3. At that time, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, right here on the ESPN New York app and 880 ESPN.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
TaxAct can think of a million things more fun than filing taxes. TaxAct is going to name some now. Sitting in traffic. Folding a fitted bedsheet. Listening to your coworker talk about his fantasy team. Digging a hole. Digging an even larger hole next to that original hole. Unfortunately, TaxAct's filing software can't make taxes fun. But TaxAct can help you get them done. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
When you're a small business owner, having your bookkeeping and taxes in order comes at a cost. I'm not just talking about your money. I'm talking about your time, hours and hours that you could have spent actually growing your business. But guess what? It doesn't have to be that way thanks to Found. Found is a banking platform that doesn't just consolidate your financial ecosystem. Found automates manual activities like expense tracking and finding tax write-offs. Found makes staying on top of invoices and payments so easy. Oh, and by the way, other small businesses are loving Found too. This Found user said, quote, "Found is going to save me so much headache. It makes everything so much easier. Expenses, income, profits, taxes, invoices even," unquote. And Found has 30,000 5-star reviews just like this. Open a Found account for free at found.com/sports. That's found.com/sports. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services are provided by Piermont Bank, member FDIC. Don't put this one off. Join thousands of small business owners who have streamlined their finances with Found.
Thanks for listening to the Michael K. Show podcast.
He's been here a long time, and he's going to be here even longer.
Catch the show on demand whenever you want. Just subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. At 6:40, the Mets are in Miami to play the Marlins. Pregame coverage begins at 6, right here on 880 ESPN. 7 p.m., the Devils host the Wild at the Prudential Center. And 8:30, the Nets are in Dallas to play the Mavericks. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. We're talking about the Yankees' big weekend, where everything seemed to go well. The only thing that would be a negative blip on the radar screen was the game where they made 5 errors. That was the game they won 20-9. Because one of the things the Yankees wanted to do this year, and I think they did do by putting this squad together, is improve their defense. And they had a miserable defensive game on Saturday. But I've always said home runs and offense in general, that's a great deodorant. It's a deodorant for bad pitching. It's a deodorant for bad hitting. Or should I say bad fielding. And that's what happens. So did you even think about the 5 errors? No, probably not, because they scored 20 runs. They scored 20 runs. And they had 9 home runs, an all-time record for the team. Second most ever in Major League history. The Blue Jays once had 10 home runs in a game. Home runs on 3 pitches in the first inning. First 3 pitches. Never before done. A lot of history was made at the stadium on Saturday. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Jeff in Scranton. Jeff.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. So a previous caller was on to something. I want to just take it a little further and give you an example that I think is very relevant with the bats, okay?
Okay.
And, that's Tiger Woods. So, Tiger Woods, when he left Callaway Golf Clubs and decided to go with Nike, everyone in the golf world was talking about it. So all the golf nerds at Nike got their hands together. They took Tiger's body type, his swing type, everything, and they looked at the PGA rule book, and they took that the new evolution of the clubs to the exact limit that they could squeeze it at. So what's different here than the Yankee nerds taking a look at the rules and figuring how can we get every ounce of performance, every bang for the buck, and let's redesign the bat.
I don't think, Jeff. I don't think there's any different. I think they're well within their rights to try to get an advantage as long as it's legal, and it has been checked out over and over with Major League Baseball. You know, a lot of Orioles are using the bat. They didn't have the kind of offense the Yankees had over the weekend. A lot of players use that bat, but we're looking at the Yankees now because they had one of the all-time great offensive weekends. So people that don't like the Yankees are going to say, well, that's the reason why. Or maybe they just have built a pretty good team, a pretty good offense. They made a really good pivot when they lost an important player, and they put good pieces in. Bellinger is a former MVP. Goldschmidt is a former MVP. Jazz Chisholm got out from under the restraints he was under in Miami where they wouldn't let him be him, and he's a good player. He showed that last year. He's going to have a great season. Torpedo bat or not. Let's go to Mr. Ray in Connecticut. Mr. Ray.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you. It's really refreshing hearing you and Paulie and the whole gang. Just making me feel like, you know, it just got warm, even though it was kind of cold in the Northeast. But it just felt great hearing you guys. Wanted to touch on the torpedo bat issue. I think we just, you know, even though I'm sure we have a great department, as I said, you know, the analytics department, they're doing a great job, but I think we're giving them a little bit too much credit because, like you said, there's other teams that are using this. Rushman in the Orioles, Lindor with the Mets, who he's had a very slow start, and he's using the bat. You know, Tampa Bay third baseman, the Blue Jays, and on and on. I know Machado just said he's ordered bats. So I just don't get, like you said, this is just kind of a Yankee hate thing. I'm sure if they would have just hit 2 home runs, this wouldn't even be a conversation now. But because they had a historical day. You're absolutely right. I think that the home runs that flew out of the ballpark for 3 days, that was an eye-opener. Now, you know, also consider the day they hit 9 home runs, it was 78 degrees at Yankee Stadium. It was like a June day. Now, yesterday it was cold, and they still hit some home runs, but they didn't hit 9. The ball flies in hotter weather, and for some reason Saturday was unusually hot. And I think the Yankees are going to get credit because they're the first ones that came up with this. Other teams have good analytics groups as well, and they probably did it too. But it's good if you're a Yankee fan that the Yankees are on the forefront of this. So they got these bats made, and they got them into the hands of the players, and the players use them, and it looks like it's been successful. So other teams seem like they've had this technology and this thought process, but they didn't move on it. And the players didn't seem like they wanted to move on it. But Manny Machado actually said on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball yesterday, hey, have the Yankees send me some of those bats. Players notice. Sports is a copycat endeavor. What works now? I want it to work for me. Let's go to Matt in Brewster. Matt.
Hey, Michael, how's it going? I had 2 points about the torpedo bat. I just want your opinion on this. First of all, you're so right about no one's talking about how advanced pitching analytics has come and little to none with bad batters. So I agree with you there. Why aren't they talking about that? Again, and kind of towards that point as well, do you think that maybe the way that Spider Tech and the sticky stuff was allowed for so many years, and then they outlawed it, is this something you anticipate potentially will have that, the torpedo bats get banned if, you start seeing all these home runs and, this whole uproar?
Well, let's put it this way, Matt. I mean, I don't know what Major League Baseball will do, but before these bats were executed, it was run by Major League Baseball. So Major League Baseball wants more offense in the game. Offense has disappeared from the game. Pitching is so good. You have the 2 last guys in the bullpen coming in and throwing 97, 98 miles an hour. So they'd like some kind of market correction. All sports want offense. That's why teams are seduced by the three-point shot. That's why a defender in the NFL can't touch a receiver. Sports want offense. Remember the old commercial, chicks dig the long ball? Major League Baseball would not be crestfallen if offense picks up a little bit because people start using the torpedo bat. They won't. Let's go to Nestor in Arizona. Nestor.
Hey, Michael, this is Nestor. This is my first time calling. Been listening for a long time.
Welcome aboard,
I just
Nestor.
wanted to talk about the torpedo bats.
Yep.
I think it's great for the Yankees, but at the end of the day, I'm still hoping that the Yankees pitching staff can hold up throughout the year.
Well, I mean, Nestor, you hit it right on the screws. I mean, it's a concern. The bottom three guys in the starting rotation are huge question marks. Stroman pitched okay yesterday, but what you see from Stroman all the time, he throws first pitch strikes. I give him credit for that. Every time you look up, he's 1-2. And then when you look up a moment later, he's 3-2. And he's not trying to strike people out. He's trying to make the perfect pitch because his stuff does not play right over the middle of the plate. He's got to work the corners. Will Warren's going to pitch tomorrow against the Diamondbacks, a really good offensive team, and his opposing pitcher is going to be Corbin Burns. Let's see what Will Warren could do. He didn't pitch well last year in the 5 games he pitched in the major leagues. And then there's Carlos Carrasco, came in relief, got touched up a little bit, but not bad. It was a mop-up in the big game on Saturday. Then he's going to start the 3rd game. So, yeah, I think the Yankee offense is going to be fine. I think their defense is going to be fine. I think their bullpen, which it showed throughout the weekend, especially yesterday, 4 1/3 outstanding innings. The Yankee bullpen is going to be great. It's their starting rotation. You can't lose Garrett Cole and Luis Heel for 3 months and have Clark Schmidt start the season on the IL and not expect it to have an impact. You just can't. Your head would be in the sand if you think, oh, no big deal. It's a big deal. Let's see how they do. Let's go to James in Pennsylvania. James.
Hey, Michael, thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
The one thing that we talked about before the season started was Dominguez in the outfield. And that's the one thing that I've been watching. And the 2 plays that he had yesterday, when he caught the fly ball and almost came out of his hand, and the ball that fell right in front of him.
Yep.
Now, is this going to be something we got to keep our eye on all season, or is this something that they're going to be working with him to try to improve?
Well, I mean, they're working with him constantly. I mean, he's putting in a lot of effort. Luis Rojas is with him all the time. They worked endless hours in spring training. It's an issue. Again, I'm never going to put lipstick on a pig for you. Well, what the Yankees hope is that they get out of this homestand, which has 3 more games, and they'll hit the road, and not have him do something horrendous in left field. So then it's not on his mind. You want to get him through this where the fans don't jump on him because of the defense, because that's what happened with Gary Sanchez. I'm convinced that's what derailed Gary Sanchez's career with the Yankees, because people were obsessed with the pass balls, obsessed with them. And it became a thing, and it's all he thought about, it's all he heard about, and it affected his offense. The Yankees want to avoid that with Dominguez, and you could already see what the Yankees are doing, everybody. No secret. In 2 of the games, they took him out in late innings for defense. That's what they did. They would move Trent Grisham to center, Bellinger over to left, and then Dominguez would be sitting on the bench for the final 2 innings. That's the game plan until he gets really comfortable and more proficient out there. Yeah, it's something you have to watch with, but to think that they're not working on it, I mean, it was like job 1, 2, and 3 in spring training. Of course it's a big deal. Of course they're working on it. I'll come back, more of your phone calls, and so much more. We take you on until 3, until Don Hahn and Rosenberg. Hey, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is the best place to bet on sports. There's an absolutely loaded sports calendar this week, and whether you're into basketball, baseball, hockey, or any other sport, check out some of their exclusive promotions. Dinger Tuesday, Hump Day parlays, and Golf Profit Boost tokens over the weekend. This week is loaded with action. The Knicks are winding up the regular season. Rangers are fighting for a playoff spot. Plus, the Yankees and the Mets seasons are certainly underway. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/K to make every moment more. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
There's nothing more satisfying than finding the perfect green paint for your living room. Except maybe popping open that can of Valspar Ultra and rolling that first smooth stroke on the wall. And there's nothing more satisfying than admiring your freshly painted wall. Ooh. Except maybe peeling off the painter's tape to see those crisp edges. But the most satisfying part of all? Valspar Ultra's price tag, starting at $29.98 a gallon. Affordable, durable, available at Lowe's. Price varies by Shein.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/ESPNpod and use code ESPNpod for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ESPNpod and use code ESPNpod.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Thanks for listening to the Michael K. Show podcast.
He's been here a long time, and he's going to be here even longer.
Catch the show on demand whenever you want. Just subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, we have a developing situation with the Yankees playing as well as they played over the weekend and hitting the 15 home runs and scoring the 36 runs. People are going to be watching the Yes Network to watch the Yankees. They are. And as of midnight tonight, the Yankees, according to Xfinity and Comcast, are going to be taken off their system because of a dispute in terms of re-upping. Well, rather than have me sit here and try to explain what's going on, we had the Yankees, the Yes Network president and chief executive officer, John Littner, on with us during the game yesterday, and he talked about the Comcast situation. Here's John Littner.
I just want to come on and explain to our great fans who watch the Yankees on Comcast Xfinity what Comcast has told us will happen to the Yes Network. Despite our attempts to negotiate a new carriage agreement with them, Comcast has refused to negotiate. Instead, they have informed us that they will drop the Yes Network from their programming lineup Monday night at midnight. So I just want to take a moment to explain what this is all about. Over the last 20-plus years, Yes has been widely distributed on expanded basic cable by Comcast and by our other distributors in the tri-state region. And that wide distribution has included equal carriage for all the regional sports networks in this market, including SNY and MSG. In fact, in the last 12 to 15 months, we have reached agreements with all of our largest distributors to continue to provide wide distribution for Yes on expanded basic or on a equivalent broadly distributed package, so our great fans, our most loyal fans, can continue to enjoy Yankees baseball on Yes just as they can today. So what is happening right now with Comcast, based on their unwillingness to carry Yes in the same package as their own network, SNY, is this. They are demanding that Yes move to a more expensive digital package that will cost you, its loyal customers, $20 more per month. At the same time, Comcast continues to give their own networks, including SNY, preferential treatment, keeping them in the less costly package. And this is exactly the bullying tactic Comcast used against MSG networks a few years ago, which resulted in MSG being dropped by Comcast. I guess it's the Comcast playbook to favor their own networks and disadvantage networks they do not own.
Well, you've got a situation here where it comes down to just being treated fairly. Now, what John kept saying, their own network, SNY, well, Comcast owns a lot of SNY along with the Wilpon family. So if they're carrying SNY on the expanded basic cable, then why are they asking Yes to go to another level that would cost its fans $20 more per month? So I don't think that Yes is asking for anything more than a fair shake. You're giving it to SNY. SNY has the Mets. Yes, has the Yankees and a lot more in the Nets and things like that. And so SNY stays on expanded basic cable, but you want more from Yes. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And it's strictly about fairness. That's what everybody is talking about. They have fairness in San Francisco. There's fairness in Boston. But for New York, it seems like they're proposing a different set of rules. So that's going to end up being an issue. So I asked John Littner, what can Yankee fans that have Comcast Xfinity, what can they do?
What I'd like to say is that they should call Comcast and demand that Comcast get to the negotiating table. They have yet to negotiate, or their elected officials, or switch to other distributors who value the Yankees and the Yes Network. It's as simple as that. We are not going to pull our signal. We have told Comcast that. And so if Comcast elects to drop the Yes Network from its programming lineup Monday night at midnight, it is precisely because Comcast elected to do so.
It's a tough situation. It really is, and there's a lot of fans that are involved as well. So I would see, and I would understand, if Yes was asking for something different than what SNY gets. They just want the fairness of getting the exact thing that SNY gets, being on the expanded basic cable, not being on a different level where the fans of the Yankees have to pay $20 extra per month. It's going to be interesting as we count down to midnight tonight, because there are Yankee fans that are engaged with this team right now. It's an exciting team. It's fun to watch. Home runs are fun to watch. And all of a sudden, at midnight tonight, you're not going to be able to watch tomorrow's game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's hope that doesn't happen. They're not asking for any other options. They just want to be treated fairly like other regionals are treated around the country in Comcast areas. But the thing that jumps out at you, though, is that in this area, in New York, you're going to treat SNY differently than you treat Yes because you own SNY. That doesn't sound great. It's certainly something very, very difficult to navigate making sense of. So let's hope it gets done. Let's hope it gets done for the people out there that want to watch the Yankees, and they want to watch the Yankees the way they've watched the Yankees for a long time. So let's cross our fingers and hope that fairness prevails and that it gets done. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. And let's go to Richard in Manhattan. Richard.
Michael, the most impressive thing, I was at the game yesterday, and by the way, Hal should supply to fans on a game like yesterday, and especially tomorrow night, blankets or hot chocolate or hot coffee. It was cold. Very cold, but tomorrow night will be worse. The most impressive thing about the Yankee game yesterday, 4 relief pitches, 4 in the third, 1 hit, 1 walk, 57 pitches, no runs. If they get pitching like that, I don't care what bats they're using, what the offense is doing, we're going to go all the way. And by the way, Arenado is hitting .450, and the Cardinals are 3-0, so I don't think he's coming to New York soon, but we don't need him, so that's fine with that. Now, there was a play that reminded me there'll never be another Dave Winfield. I love Aaron Judge, but I'll just tell you what he doesn't do that Dave Winfield did. You saw the play. Judge is on first. Volpe lines a single to right, and Judge stops at second. Winfield would have rounded second and headed to third. First to third, Winfield on a hit to right was probably the most exciting thing I saw in Yankee baseball in the last 50 years. He was that wonderful to watch. And one last thing, Michael, let me get this in. 3 years ago, how many times did I call the station? I spoke to you. You relayed my message to Aaron Boone, and Aaron got mad. He said, "Don't yell at me, Richard." I said, it makes no sense for Judge to bat leadoff. Yes, he gets more at-bats batting leadoff. Not as many as they said. It's not 40, and mathematically, I can explain to you, it's about 35 if you bat clean a leadoff instead of third.
He's not batting leadoff.
In the other factor, Michael, other factors. He's leading off the game with no runners on base, and he's batting 550, 575 times during the season behind the 8 and 9 hitter instead of the 1 and 2. Now, if you're going to put your best hitters 8 and 9, then it is better to have Judge batting leadoff.
He's not batting, Richard. He's not batting leadoff. What are you talking about?
Well, what happened to the analytics? That's all I heard about was analytics 3 years ago.
But they never, ever batted Judge leadoff, Richard. They batted him second or third. Last year they batted him third. They never batted him leadoff. Because why would you waste that bat leading off in the first inning? But the Yankees have a circular lineup. And as for Winfield was a much faster player than Aaron Judge. And you point out the one instance where the Yankees didn't go first or third. Judge is got job one. Don't get hurt. Remember, he had that toe injury. You don't get hurt. Yankees went first to third so many times over the weekend, and that's what you point out? The guy in right field, Sal Frelick, is a Gold Glove winner. You better have speed if you're going to go to third. Richard, the things that you fixate on, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Time now for the tournament update brought to you by Amazon Pickup. All four men's number one seeds advance to the Final Four in San Antonio. It will be Auburn against Florida. That's at 6 p.m. Saturday, followed by Duke against Houston. That was the tournament update brought to you by Amazon Pickup. Amazon Pickup is a convenient and secure way to collect your Amazon packages from locations near you. I do want to give you a number if you want to call Comcast Xfinity. It's 1-800-XFINITY, XFINITY, or 1-800-934-6489 if you'd like to talk to them about the impending dropping of Yes at midnight. 1-800-919-3776. A lot of other things going on in sports. Obviously, the Mets didn't have the weekend that they wanted. People, of course, are going to overreact, which they shouldn't. But we'll talk about that and so much more. You can get in with your phone calls at 1-800-919-3776. It's Michael K. and you.
Thanks for listening to the Michael K. Show podcast.
You know what? Check yourself.
Hear more from Michael K. weekdays at 1 on 880 ESPN.
Suck it up and like it.
The ESPN New York app and your smart speakers.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
All right, let me ask you something. Ever feel like you're juggling it all? Work, family, responsibilities, and still trying to keep your eye on the ball? Yeah, you're an and-er, and National University gets the hustle. That's why they have flexible online classes and support services for folks who are balancing jobs and kids and everything in between. If you're ready to take the next step, National University can help you level up your education and score your goals. Check them out at nu.edu to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by the Toyota Grand Highlander. Life's journey brings constant change filled with exciting surprises and grand challenges. And with its spaciousness, power, and style, the Toyota Grand Highlander is more than a vehicle. It's your partner in embracing all life throws at you. From the spacious adult-sized third row to seating for up to 8 passengers, the Toyota Grand Highlander is up for every grand challenge. Learn more at toyota.com/Grand Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the Michael K. Show podcast.
I gotta get more K.
Listen live weekdays at 1 on 880 ESPN, the ESPN New York app, and your smart speaker.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. So the Yankees have a great weekend, and the Mets took 1 out of the 3 games against the Astros. And the thing that shows up with the Mets is that they didn't hit very much, but Juan Soto did. Juan Soto, I know he struck out when they lost that first game, but he had a very good series. He was on base all the time. Now, he's going to see the difference, how life is when you don't have Judge hitting behind you. That's a pretty big advantage. So I know Met fans are going to start freaking out because Francisco Lindor is hitless in 11 at-bats this year, and he has historically been bad leading off. But before we even get into it, Francisco and his wife, Katia, congratulations on the birth of their son, Koa. So their third child, 2 baby girls, and now a little Koa. So congratulations to Francisco. But, I mean, can we give the guy, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks before we start to panic? Pete Alonso didn't hit well. Pete Alonso's going to have to hit for them. Otherwise, Soto's going to have a record for the amount of times he's going to be walked. You saw with what the Yankees did this weekend. You know, they started to walk Judge when they realized, hey, we can't get the guy out. And Chisholm batting behind him made him pay him. I mean, no one is ever going to say, oh, I'd rather pitch to Judge than Josh Chisholm. But you know what? If you're going to keep walking Judge and Chisholm makes you pay, that'll make you think about just giving him a free pass. So that puts a lot of emphasis and a lot of import on Pete Alonso bouncing back and having a big year. Mark Vientos almost won the game on Saturday. Hit a blistering line drive to Jeremy Pena. That would have tied the game. It didn't. It was caught. The Mets got one hit on Saturday. And if Jose Altuve was 6 foot rather than what he is, he catches the double off the bat of Soto in the first inning, and the Mets might have gotten no hit. So it was not a great weekend, but, I mean, does that define the Mets? I mean, come on. They'll have 3 games against Miami, and you look at these 3 games and you say, well, that's a layup, right? Not so much. Miami just took 3 out of 4. And all 3 of the games were walk-off wins. There'll be a lot of Met fans down there in Miami. We shall see. But please, if I could just give you this one bit of advice, you can't freak out on March 31st because they lost 2 out of 3 to a pretty good Astro team with pretty good pitching. Really. I watched the games. I DVR'd them when they were up against the Yanks, and the bottom line is this. Lindor didn't look terrible at the plate. Now, last year, he looked terrible at the beginning of the year. I don't think he looked terrible. Now, you hope that he doesn't fall into bad habits and make himself look terrible. But, you know, the top of the Met lineup is pretty good. Now, if you want to have some concern, bottom of the Met lineup's not great, especially with Alvarez being out. It's not great. There's definitely a resting spot for pitchers. That's something to look out for. You know, we had Jeff Passan on last week, and he said, you know, the top 5 of the Mets, I mean, how do you navigate that? Well, you have to navigate it, and then you take a deep breath for an inning and a half when those 4 guys at the bottom of the order come up. And if the top 5 don't hit, they're not going to hit. Because the bottom 4 are not picking you up. They're not. I thought they got pretty good pitching. That's the most important thing. And you have to assume that they are going to hit. So please don't panic. Please. Promise me. Thanks. To move aside from the torpedo bats, I was thinking about this. I think that sometimes Aaron Judge, a 2-time MVP, actually might be underrated. I think if he's not underrated, we certainly take him for granted. He just does things that aren't done by normal players. I mean, the game he had on Saturday, 3 home runs, almost had another home run off the wall and right. He's unbelievable. So he's a guy who could hit you 50 home runs, but you know what? He doesn't sacrifice batting average. It's not like he's going to hit 240. He's not Rob Deere. He's not Mickey Tettleton. He had 322 last year and hit 58 home runs. He is honestly one of the greatest players that we will ever see. And I think we take him for granted. And I know what there's going to be a number of fans out there, yeah, but he doesn't hit in October. Well, yeah, there's no arguing that. But they don't get to October without him. And at some point, he has to solve that to complete the puzzle of his legacy. But in the regular season, he's doing things that only the highest and exalted Hall of Famers have ever done. He is one of the greatest right-handed hitters in the history of this game. Prove me wrong. Debate me on that. He is a phenomenon. And we can't just let it happen in front of our eyes and not take it in and not realize how special he is. We can't. He's one of those guys that if you're watching a Yankee game and he's coming up the next inning, you are not in your right mind if you get up and make a sandwich. You have to watch every single at-bat. He might hit a tape measure shot that you've never seen before. He turns around fastballs almost like it's a layup in basketball. He is an out-and-out special player. Don't take it for granted, people. He's not going to be around forever. And his age starts to take hold. Maybe he's not going to be this player. This is his 10th big league season. He started in 16, didn't play much because he got hurt, won Rookie of the Year in 17. So his 10 seasons he's played in. He's not going to be around forever. Don't sit back and just assume that this is normal what he's doing. It's not normal. It's not normal. He is on a ledge that other people just can't reach. I mean, when you think about players that are comparable to him offensively, you'd have to say Ohtani and Soto. Guys that could do damage, hit for average. Bobby Witt Jr. is a great, great player. I don't think he's at that level yet. Gunnar Henderson, a great player. But in terms of the guys you can't look away, Ohtani, Soto, and Judge. And that, by the way, is going to be the ultimate test on how Soto's decision plays out. He broke up the modern day Ruth and Gehrig. He broke up a 1-2 punch that you just don't see in Major League Baseball. He walked away from the absolute greatest protection that any hitter could have, Aaron Judge. Let's see how it plays. Because he's great in his own right. But it's hard to do it alone. Hard to do it alone. And that's the one big regret that I have, because I'm doing the games, that Soto left. That I don't get the chance to see those two hit together for the next 7 years. But I do get a chance to see Judge, and it is something special. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Raul in Harrisburg.
Mike, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Yankees, good. Excited. Yankees are 3-0. You did a good job in the booth. Everything's going well.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Good, Mike. I just want to point out, we only had one bad call today, and that was Richard. Like always. But, Mike, people got to realize and appreciate and sink in how good Jordan is. That guy, when he comes up, he's just like Roof and all those guys. And Jeter, you know what I mean? And who knows if he might be better than him in the Hall of Fame, you know, comparing to Jeter's World Series and everything. That's probably going to be the thing for Judge. You know what I mean? Now, I want to mention Aaron Judge. What I want to say is Soto missed out on really being next to Judge, and you pointed out you stole my thing, because I was going to say the same thing. If Soto was going to stay, he would have been doing good.
Well, you know, he's going to do great wherever he is, because he's a great player. But you are helped by who bats behind you. You just are. And he had the greatest right-handed hitter, one of the greatest right-handed hitters in baseball history, hitting behind him for at least the next 7 years. And he walked away from it. So if you are of the belief, like some people are, that he didn't walk away for the money, well, then it doesn't make sense walking away from that. That's why I contend it was about the money, and the Met contract is worth an awful lot more than what anybody else offered. You could give me the pap while the Red Sox offered over $800 million. Yeah, a lot of it deferred. So it was worth about what the Mets offered. And he didn't want to play in Boston. And he didn't want to play in Toronto. The only place it would have made sense for him to go to, because, you know, one of the things that he said, well, the Mets have a better chance to get to the postseason for a longer time than the Yankees. Well, then why not go to the Dodgers if money didn't make any needle moving on that? Why? Why not go to the Dodgers? Dodgers have a great farm system. They have owners that are obviously willing to spend. Wouldn't that be the place to go? So you go to the Mets, you left the Yankees. Again, if you don't believe it's for the money, then it's a dumb move. I believe it's for the money, and I don't believe it's a dumb move. I think he took the most money by a lot. But he also left the greatest protection that you could have. That's what he did. Let's go to Justin in Queens. Hello, Justin.
Hey, Michael.
How you doing?
I gotta say, I'm a lifelong fan. I've been listening since I was a little boy.
Thank you.
All right, but I listened to the broadcast Saturday, Sunday. They kept the best games for you, of course, but you got to drink more water. I can't listen to all the lip slapping between you, Joe, and Paulie nonstop. It's ridiculous. I can't do it. I can't do it. I got to put it on mute.
Well, then obviously you're not listening to the game, and that's fine as long as you watch the game. But yeah, I don't smack my lips at all. Do you hear me smacking my lips on the radio? Drink more water. That's your solution, Justin? I guess I should thank you for watching. Can't thank you for listening. But if that's going to drive you so nuts, I'm sorry, babe. And you say you've been listening to me since you were a baby? You sound a lot older than me. I've only been doing it 34 years, so I don't know if you've been listening to me since you were a baby. Because if you're, 35, I mean, wow, what a grizzled 35 you sound like. Let's go to Eric in Long Island. Eric.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So before I get to, I was going to call about the bat thing. I just have one point, but talking about Aaron Judge. I'm 43. I would say these would be the hitters that I've seen that would even put in his category. Albert Pujols, Manny Ramirez, and A-Rod as far as right-handed hitters go, and then it's Judge. I mean, I think those are the greatest right-handed hitters I've seen. And not only is he one of the greatest right-handed hitters, he's underpaid and chose to be underpaid to be a Yankee. So I'm very appreciative of him, and it's not lost on me how great he is.
Well, I mean, you bring up a good point, and it's really awkward to say a guy that signed a 9-year, $360 million contract is underpaid, but I believe he's better than Soto. Now, the one thing that he has that Soto doesn't is he's older. But if they were both available on the open market at the same age, Aaron Judge would have a higher contract than Soto. And if Aaron Judge became a free agent after Soto became a free agent, he would be paid much more than $40 million a year. But I don't think anybody's, there's no one that's, throwing a telethon for Aaron because he makes $40 million a year. But yeah, in today's world where Ohtani gets $70 million a year and Soto about $50, yeah, he's underpaid. He's underpaid. Ray in West Orange. Ray.
Hey, Michael. A long-time listener, first-time caller on your new show. I'm from East Orange.
Oh, thanks.
Well, yeah. Like, I want to make a special mention and a congratulations to you when Major League Baseball, the Hall of Fame, asked for your scorecard from that game. And I really thought that was great, and it just shows people on how great and special baseball can be because you never know what's going to happen on a baseball game. Like, who would have thought that when you woke up that day that your baseball scorecard was going to be inside the Hall of Fame because you had a great game and the game was called and history was made and baseball just say, hey, can I have your scorecard, please? So, like, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. They asked for Dave Sims' scorecard as well and mine, and we'll see if they do display it. And as I said, and I'm not even joking, I'm not making the Hall of Fame. So at least part of my being will be in the Hall of Fame with the scorecard because the Yankees did something that, as one of the greatest home run hitting teams in the history of baseball, they'd never done. They never had 9 home runs in a game. There'd never been.
You're a Hall of Famer. You're a Hall of Famer in our book, Kay. So, like, I just want to put that out there.
Well, that's really nice of you. Again, I'm not gonna litigate against myself, but I know the politics of the way the Ford Frick Award is chosen, and those that are nominated. It's not happening for me. I mean, let's to show you the farcical nature of it. Joe Buck, who I believe is one of the great baseball announcers who ever lived, has never been nominated for the Ford Frick Award. The guy's called 25 World Series on national TV, and he's never been nominated. So there's politics involved. Everything in life, there's politics involved. There just are. Nobody is working without even the slightest agenda. No one works without an agenda. So somebody in this committee that's been chosen by the people of the Hall of Fame, they don't like Joe Buck. Joe Buck must rub them the wrong way. Imagine that he's not even nominated Forget about being in it. He's in the Football Hall of Fame, but he's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Forget about not being in it. He's not been nominated. It's almost criminal. They should actually blow up the committee and start over again. If you can't nominate a guy who's 25 nationally televised World Series games as the play-by-play guy, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? Let's go to David in New Brunswick. David.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, David. How you doing?
Good. I'm great. I'm actually the guy who caught Austin Wells' leadoff home run on opening day.
Really? You caught it on the fly?
I did. I caught it on the fly.
That's awesome. Did you have a glove?
Absolutely exciting. I did. I caught it. It was perfect. Everyone was texting me like, man, I can tell you play baseball.
That is really cool. What a thrill. Had you ever caught a ball at a game before?
Only in BP.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Then I took it to the people who worked at Yankee Stadium, and they said they wouldn't verify it at the stadium. Have you heard anything like that before?
No. I'm surprised. I mean, did Wells want it? Did you?
I don't know. I tried offering it, and I said, does Wells want it? Do the Yankees want it? I never heard back from them, so I figured maybe I'd use your platform to see if anybody listening knows anything about that. If they want it, I'm more than happy to give it up. It's a historical ball. It was a great moment.
Wow, that's strange. I don't know why it wouldn't be verified, but you know what? There was video of you catching it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there it is. So, I mean, if anybody's listening within the sound of my voice, if Austin Wells, wants that, I guess our caller could call in again another day, and we'll get the information and see. But I don't know if it was a home run that was special to Wells. It was special to Yankee fans, but it's just another home run for Wells, I guess. He had the home run in Game 1 on Thursday, so the home run leading off, I don't think it's a marquee home run for him, and guys don't usually collect each one of their home runs. The fact that, there were 3 home runs hit on the first pitch, that's history, but I don't know if Wells would want it. But I'm surprised that they didn't validate it in some way. Let's go to Jonathan in Los Angeles. Jonathan.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Jonathan.
Michael, you could have said it any better regarding Judge. I mean, Derek Jeter, he has a special space in my heart. He made me into a Yankee fan. That's the reason why I love the Yankees so much. But what happened on opening day with him giving the ball to my son, it was just, crazy. And the Yankees now posted another great picture right on their Instagram of him giving him my son the ball.
Wait, that was your son, Jonathan?
Yes, that was my son. Everyone, yeah.
I didn't know you were at the game. I didn't know you were at the game, man.
Oh, no, it's because Dave and Peter and the guys that were all talking about it. But, yeah, we were so fortunate that was my son. But look at the things that he does, Michael. I mean, we arrived here in L.A. on Friday, and my son couldn't wait to just go to baseball practice. We went to go to baseball practice on Saturday. Today, he's dying to get back on the field. It's a little rainy here in L.A., but this is a thing that the captain, he does it in the field and out the field. And honestly, this moment will live forever with us. We will go on his final game. We will follow him. Well, we already follow him everywhere, all the way the Yankees go. But it's just little things that superstars like that do that will forever live in our moments. And for that, he is forever in our hearts, number 99, the captain. And by the way, Michael, you do a great job. You don't need no water. You and Paulie and everyone, you guys do a great job. Forget that guy.
Well, I don't know about any lip smacking. That was that's a new one. That's a new one. So, I'll ask everybody here, if you ever hear me lip smacking on the air, then tell me, but I don't lip smack. I'm not a lip smacker. I'll have to ask Paul if he does it. I'll have to ask Joe, but I don't think they do it either. But if they do it, that really sets you off that much. There might be other issues, don't you think? You might just be unhappy in life. That if a lip smack would have you mute the TV, I don't know. Now, one thing I will tell you about Judge. I judge people, stars, the way they treat kids. Not adults, because adults get aggressive, and a lot of adults are asking for autographs so they could sell them, put them on the market or whatever. I judge players how they treat kids. And I have never seen Judge treat a kid poorly. Ever. Ever. The only thing I could tell you of firsthand knowledge is my son. He didn't just say hello to him. He knelt down on his knee so he was eye level with him and spoke to him for 5 minutes. And you can say, well, you're the Yankee announcer. Of course he's going to do that. I've seen him do it with people that aren't affiliated with the Yankees, with kids that are just standing there for batting practice. And you can say, well, why should that be celebrated? It shouldn't be, but it is, because there are a lot of great players that don't do that blow kids off, that walk right by them. So when somebody actually gets his place, who understands his standing and what he can mean to a kid, that tells me something. Tells me he was brought up the right way, and tells me that he knows that he could make a kid's day. The way he interacts with people in right field, either on the road or at Yankee Stadium, and none of it would matter if he couldn't play, right? Because there are players that aren't that great players, and they're great to kids too. But this is a superstar. And I've seen superstars just lean on the fact, you know what, I'm a superstar. I don't have to deal with anybody. I don't want to be bothered by a kid. Not Aaron Judge. Again, it's sad that we're in a society where we have to celebrate that. But it should be celebrated because a lot of players don't do it. A lot of players don't do it. 1-800-919-3776. We'll talk about the NCAA with 4 number 1 seeds in the Final Four. Knicks had a big game last night as well. The NFL meetings are taking place, and Woody Johnson does not like being rated the worst owner in football. A lot of stuff to hit on, and I want you to join as well. You know the number, 1-800-919-3776. It's K and U, right here on the ESPN New York app and 880 ESPN.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Thanks for listening to the Michael K. Show podcast.
He's been here a long time, and he's going to be here even longer.
Catch the show on demand whenever you want. Just subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg coming up at 3 o'clock. So, the NFL meetings are taking place. All the owners are there. And, the players' survey where they had Woody listed as the NFLPA report card is the actual phrase. They had him listed as the 32nd worst owner, which is last. There's 32 teams. And he said, totally bogus. They gave him a grade of F. Totally bogus. He said, I can't do anything if you don't tell me. Well, I guess the F is telling you that they don't like the way you roll. The players said they do not like the culture on the team, that Woody does not drive a positive culture. Interesting, right? Knicks played well yesterday. You know, what's interesting is that when Jalen Brunson gets back, they might actually be a better team when he comes back. Because you see now the scoring ability of OG Anunoby. I think OG Anunoby, when Brunson is there running the point, OG just goes to the corner where he's got a great corner three. But without Brunson there, he is now attacking the lane, driving to the basket. He's been an offensive force. So maybe that opens up a little bit now for Brunson. He'll see, wow, let's get him involved in that way. Mikal Bridges has stepped up. They're starting to use Mitchell Robinson and Cat together. Now, they fell behind early yesterday, and then they blew them out. And that's what you have to do. So I think the Knicks are going to hold on to the number 3. And at some point, unless Boston somehow catches fire even more than it has been and surpasses Cleveland, the Knicks are going to have to beat the Celtics in the second round. Right now, the Knicks will play Milwaukee in the first round. And they've handled Milwaukee all year. And if Damian Lillard's not back by then they should be able to handle them easily. Even with Lillard, they've beaten them. So, as long as you get back Brunson and he's not a compromised player, which Tim Legler, when he was on with me about a week and a half ago, he said he is going to be compromised. He said that's going to affect him for the rest of the year. He said you have to be off it for a very, very, very long time. Talking about basketball, it is the chalk tournament. I think this is the first time since 2008 all 4 number 1 seeds have made it to the Final Four. Duke is good. Now, in my bracket that I made out, I had Florida beating Duke in the title game. I don't know if I feel that comfortable right now because Duke is unbelievable. I mean, look at the game it played to get into the Final Four. And Cooper Flagg was not great offensively at all. At all. They got a lot of weapons. And they're all young. Most of them are freshmen. Really good team. Really, really good team. Should be a fun Final Four. But again, it's chalk. And that's what we're going to see now with NIL and the transfer portal. You're going to see the best players go to the teams with the most money. And the teams with the most money are the teams that are in the Big Five. Big Five markets. Big Five conferences. Why do you think Kevin Willard weaseled his way to Villanova? Villanova has more NIL money than Maryland. Period. That's it. And how bad does Kevin Willard look? He really weaseled his way out. And did it in a sniveling way. He did not cover himself in glory at all. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Does Villanova know what it got? Unbelievable. St. John's keeps getting these transfers because Mike Rapoli has a lot of money. That's it. R.J. Lewis decided to go pro. You wonder how much of that was he didn't play in the last 5 minutes of St. John's last game? We'll never know. I don't know if he translates into a big-time NBA player. You can say, well, he's Big East Player of the Year. Okay, so is Tyler Kolek. Is he a big-time NBA player? No. Player of the Year in a conference in basketball is completely different than the skill level you need to really excel in the NBA. Also, we got a little look how the Knicks might be missing by not having Dante DiVincenzo. He was right in the middle of that brawl with Detroit, throwing punches. We'll see who's going to get suspended. 1-800-919-3776. We go to Mike in Albany. Mike.
It's Anthony. But hi, Mike, how you doing? You're Mike.
Oh, who are you?
How are you? I'm Anthony.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
That's okay. That's okay. First off, you do a great job on TV. You guys are very entertaining. Don't ever change. Now, here's my question.
Okay.
We've been expecting the Martian to come through. And I'm only saying this because he's been hailed as a 5-tool player. Now, how come one of those tools is not being able to judge a fly ball? That's my only question. I mean, he looks like he could hit. He looks like he could run. I guess he's got a really good arm.
He's got an okay arm. He's got an okay arm.
Okay arm. Okay.
Because remember, he had Tommy John surgery.
That's true. But was that in his throwing arm?
Yeah.
It was, I guess.
Yeah.
It was. Okay. But anyways, I'm sorry to go back to baseball.
No, that's okay.
Anyways.
I wish Anthony, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't know why he's not better defensively. It doesn't make sense because if you're a good hitter, obviously you have the hand-eye coordination, and maybe he will get better. The best way it's been explained to me from people in the game. He's, a kid. He's been in the Yankee system since he's 16 and doesn't play a lot because he's been hurt a lot. So defense is about repetition, and he hasn't had much repetition. And when people say, well, why don't they play him in center where he's more comfortable? I've been told by scouts he's not good in center either. And we see what the Yankees are doing. I mentioned this in the first hour. They're taking him out for defense because Trent Grisham is a Gold Glove level outfielder. Bellinger could play anywhere at a high level. So they just take Bellinger from center, move him to left. They put Grisham in center field, and Dominguez sits. So if Dominguez turns out to be a really good hitter, right, you're losing his bat in close games in the last couple of innings. You really are, because you can't afford to drop a ball. Now, yesterday, caught a fly ball, and it almost came out of the glove. He smiled about it because he made the play. Okay, no harm, no foul. Then later on in the inning, there's a line drive in front of him. And I think he froze on it. Alex Verdugo, I think, makes that play easily. Now, he's not Alex Verdugo, because Alex Verdugo, while he couldn't hit, was a really good left fielder. Then I looked up the catch probability of that line drive. That was the last hit that Marcus Stroman gave up. And it was a big hit for Stroman, because it would have been the final out of the fifth inning. He would have got credit for the win. And you could see he was a little chapped. Didn't show up the player, give him credit. You shouldn't do that, and he didn't. But I looked up the catch probability. It was 95%. Now, the two guys that I sit in the booth with, I have great respect for them. But Joe Girardi said you can't try to make that play with 2 outs and nobody on, because you don't want to get by you. Well, the only reason it would have gotten by him was because he didn't break right away when the ball was hit. Again, the catch probability was 95%. That means 95% of the time that ball's caught. Let's go to Glenn in Connecticut. Glenn.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, got an interesting question for you. I was watching the broadcast yesterday, and I saw an advertisement out in center field. It's the Razor Motorola sign.
Yep.
I'm curious as to why that's still there, with the Yankees being such a profound brand. They might want to update that, because I don't know about you, but I haven't seen a Razor in probably 15-plus years. So I wanted to see if you had any insight on that.
Well, Motorola does make a Razor. They reissued it last year. I mean, the Yankees don't judge whether or not it's a viable product. I mean, Motorola pays them a lot of money to put that sign up. And you might not have seen a Motorola Razor, but they are out there. They made a big push last year about it. We had ads on Yes about it. So it's not like they're putting up a sign that the thing doesn't exist anymore. It very much exists. Let's go to Anthony in Toms River.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for making it.
Long-time listener. Go back all the way to, I know everybody says this when they call in, but I go back to the Bucky Dent home run. My father took me out of school. I was in the 6th grade.
Good dad. A good dad.
Yeah. Yeah, my mother didn't like it, but my father. Anyway, I'm going to flip and flop a little bit. Last week or a couple of days ago, whenever it was, we were talking about Joe Buck, the announcer.
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to let you know, Michael, I think football, listen, he's a great announcer. Football, I would definitely take him over anybody. When it comes to baseball, I would take calling a game, I would take you over Joe Buck. No, hands down. Not because I don't want to compare, but I think his glitch is football, not baseball. He's great in baseball too, but I think you're a little bit better.
Well, I'll let you finish your other point, but Anthony, you're a Yankee fan, so you hear me a lot.
Well, listen, but what about I can go to this. The calls when Jim Leyritz hit the home run, when Aaron Boone hit the home run, when Scott Brocious hit the home run. Sometimes I go back on YouTube and listen to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know a lot of other people that do too, because it pumps them up. You know what I mean? It fires them up. So anyway, as far as the Aaron Judge goes and that whole baseball bat thing, I know I'm taking a lot of time.
That's all right.
There's going to be Yankee haters. You know that it's always been that way. If that happened in Detroit, for an example, they would never get the publicity saying that they're cheating. That would never happen. Because it's New York that happened.
Well, I think the reason it happened, Anthony, is because they had such an unbelievable offensive weekend. So it caused a lot of attention to it. I kind of broke it on Saturday on the air, so it took on a life of its own. And I think there's a Yankee bias. So you want to say something negative about the Yankees. You can't give them credit. That's the way it is. And that, when you're a big boy and you're at the top of the hill or near the top of the hill, people want to knock you off. The thing that I laugh at is the ill-informed criticism that it's illegal. It's not illegal. By any stretch of the imagination, it's not illegal. The Yankees checked it out, and other teams use these bats. And Major League Baseball is very much aware of the teams that are using them and the bats that are in place. And in fact, John Heyman tweeted out about an hour ago that I think it's Marucci bats. Marucci bats have received countless orders for the Torpedo bat. So, sports is copycat. So players are going to say, well, let's see what the big deal's about. Let's see if it helps me. But the one thing that people are like jumping on, of course Judge hit those home runs. Yeah, you had a bet. No. You didn't do your homework. A, the bat's legal. B, Judge wants no part of it. He's comfortable swinging the bat that he swings. You know, Giancarlo Stanton used that bat during the postseason last year? Think about it. He did. It's been used before. But because the Yankees had this unbelievable weekend, anti-Yankee fans are going, oh, they're cheating. No, they're not cheating. I know you want them to be caught cheating. They're not cheating. The Yankees vetted it. They went to the rules guys in baseball, got the okay that it was okay. They went to every bat company to see if it could be made. Not cheating. I know that's what you want. They're not cheating. That's the way you're rooting. But it's not true. Not true. Not cheating. But somebody said it very well earlier on social media. If you just say, oh, well, this is interesting, the bat's legal, you're not going to get clicks. Hate. Conspiracy. That gets clicks. And not just in sports. Everything. The amount of disinformation on social media is staggering. Staggering. So if you didn't know by reading or, just looking at the rule book that it was legal, and you look at social media, you go, wow, that's illegal. They're doing something illegal. They're not doing anything illegal. And we see it in politics, too. Some of the stuff that's been put on by people that follow one party or another, it's just false. That's why I laugh when Elon Musk says, X is the new is the new media. No, it's not. There's a lot of disinformation on there. And there's a lot of disinformation in real-time media, too. Old-time media. You got to be smart, though. You got to check several different sources. But if you're saying that social media like Instagram or Facebook or X is telling you the truth, sometimes it is. Most of the time it's not. I think what we do is we live in an echo chamber and we pick out what we want to hear, what we want to believe, what we want to be true. So if you're not a Yankee fan, you're looking for people that will tell you that bat's illegal when you know darn well that it's legal. They didn't do anything wrong. They just, in this case, they were smarter than everybody else. And in 3 games, everybody's caught up. And the only reason all of this attention is going to them is because they hit 15 home runs in 3 games and scored 36 runs. Even if they'd swept Milwaukee and, hit 6 home runs in 3 games, wouldn't even be a thing. Wouldn't be a thing. But now it's a thing because there's got to be a reason for them hitting 15 home runs. It can't be that they're good. It's got to be something else. It's got to be something nefarious. Let's get some clicks. Click with me, baby. We'll be back in a moment right here on the ESPN New York app and 880 ESPN.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business making selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going.
So, if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. The secret's out. Businesses that want to grow, grow with Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Untuckit uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/network. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/network to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/network.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy, comfy. I'm cozy, cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. Blisters. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/ESPNpod and use code ESPNpod for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ESPNpod and use code ESPNpod.
Valspar Ultra starts at just $29.98 a gallon. So we've got you covered when your daughter wants to paint her room again. After last year's masterpiece of a unicorn mural.
Dad, please.
Or when you realize that maybe you went too hard on the grayish.
I miss color.
Or when you were sure you wanted a home gym, but your elliptical is currently hanging your laundry.
What about a home office?
Shop everything you need for your next phase with Valspar. Available at Lowe's. Price varies by sheet.
Thanks for listening to the Michael K. Show podcast.
He's been here a long time, and he's going to be here even longer.
Catch the show on demand whenever you want. Just subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I just came out of a side office here, and Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg have a big show plan, and they're going to get heavy into the torpedo bat situation. Don's got some interesting takes on it. So you have to stick around to hear that. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to the phones. Let's finish it up with you, my good friends. Dave in the car. Dave?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on, Mike. I hope you can hear me.
I hear you great.
I want to run a take by you. It's been mentioned that the Greek Freak over there in Milwaukee were really, like a place to play like New York, a big town. And a lot of Knicks fans just seem to be clamoring for Milwaukee. And if history serves me correctly, when you get a guy who's trying to put a statement out there in that type of situation, and he has a battle-tested team, I don't know if Milwaukee's going to be a walk in the park. He might decide to come and show out and give the Knicks all they can handle and maybe even walk out with a victory. I just don't think there's no easy route for the Knicks because I just think they haven't really nipped their chemistry in the bud yet. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to run that by you.
Well, first of all, he's going to play great because he's a great player. But the Knicks should win their first-round series, whether it's against Detroit or if it's against Milwaukee. And although Antetokounmpo is a great player, the supporting cast isn't as good as it used to be. The Knicks have handled Milwaukee very, very well all year. They just have. I'm sorry. If you're not going to beat Milwaukee, then this was a step back this year. And the Knicks have the weapons to stop or at least slow down the Greek Freak. Mitchell Robinson, his 20 minutes a game should slow him down. They got a great defender in OG who's going to reach in and maybe strip the ball. The Knicks have everything they need to beat Milwaukee and to beat Detroit. The team that scares me the most, I've said it before, is Boston because there's too many questions the Knicks don't have the answers to. They present too many problems that the Knicks don't have answers to. And, the caller just said, I don't know if they've got everything down and it's not about that. They don't have the proper parts to beat Boston. I don't know what team does. Boston's an awesome team. Awesome pieces. And when Porzingis is healthy, how do the Knicks counteract Porzingis? How does anybody counteract Porzingis? He presents problems that people don't have answers to. They don't have answers to. Will in Fairfield. Will.
Hey, Michael.
What's going on, Will?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm okay. So I want to talk about the significance of these bats.
Okay.
I think ultimately we have to rework the Yankee Uncle Sam hat logo, and the Cardinals will have to alter their shirts. And that's all.
Well, I think what Will is trying to joke about is that, the Yankee top hat logo has a bat holding up the top hat. And our good friend, Joe Morashik, who is a great graphic artist, has already drawn that where the bat is a torpedo bat. And for the Cardinals, the Cardinal is perched on a bat. So Will's trying to make a funny that obviously the bat has to change. But the one thing that everybody's getting wrong, 5 guys are using it. That means 8 aren't. And one of the 8 that is not using it is Aaron Judge. So you can't say it doesn't work, because why would they do it if it doesn't work? It has to have some kind of impact, right? All right, let's get that out of the way. But to say that's the only reason that the Yankees had any success over the weekend, I think, again, you're reaching. Aaron Judge had one of the great weekends you'll ever have, opening weekends ever. He's already matched his RBI. He surpassed his RBI total that it took him 18 games last year to build up. He does not use the torpedo bat. Doesn't want to. Doesn't think he needs to. He doesn't. He's one of the all-time greats the way it is. Again, people are going to have fun with this. Let's see how they do against really 3 excellent pitchers that the Diamondbacks are going to throw against them. And it's going to be frigidly cold on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with some rain. Let's see if the ball flies out then. Again, you can't say it doesn't work, because why would you do it if it doesn't work? I mean, there's physics behind it. There's analytics behind it. That the ball strikes that part of the bat more than it does other parts. So let's build up that part of the bat. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg have more. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. Talk to you tomorrow at 1. See everybody. Have a great day. Hey, when I'm getting ready for a game, I have to be prepared. I have my lineup cards, the latest team stats, and, of course, my mug of Bigelow tea. For me, it's Bigelow Earl Grey, with a smooth taste that keeps my voice in peak condition, even when the game goes into extra innings. No matter how hectic your day gets, grab your favorite Bigelow tea and take a moment just for you. So join the millions of fans that make Bigelow tea #1 in New York. Bigelow tea, the official hot tea of the New York Yankees.
Thanks for listening to the Michael K. Show podcast.
You know what? Check yourself.
Hear more from Michael K. weekdays at 1 on 880 ESPN.
Suck it up and like it.
The ESPN New York app and your smart speakers.
All right, let me ask you something. Ever feel like you're juggling it all? Work, family, responsibilities, and still trying to keep your eye on the ball. Yeah, you're an ander, and National University gets the hustle. That's why they have flexible online classes and support services for folks who are balancing jobs and kids and everything in between. If you're ready to take the next step, National University can help you level up your education and score your goals. Check them out at nu.edu to learn more.